Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and this is National Drone Safety Awareness Day, the 18th of June, and so I thought I'd better get up and fly my drone and fly safely. Anyway, the FAA set up this just safety awareness for those of us who fly drones to remember to fly safely. So I'll see if I can find an emblem to put up so you can see what it's all about and add that into the video. But anyway, so today is the 18th. Tomorrow is Father's Day. And for several years, when my brother and I flew planes, I would fly over on Father's Day after my dad died. I'd fly over on Father's Day and spend the weekend with him. And so that was nice. We don't do that anymore because I'm in Arizona now. So it's a long flight and I don't have a plane. So anyway, I'm flying along here just for fun. And I thought maybe nobody lived in that house. That scaffolding's been sitting in front of it for, I don't know, a couple of months. But you can see there's a pickup in the back, and I thought, well, I wanted to fly around and see, because I ride by on my e-bike, and it looked to me like there was nobody there, but there's a pickup in the back, and now there's a car parked over there by the trailer. My guess is they're living in the trailer while they finish up their house. So anyway, and then I wanted to look at some, they were pouring concrete the other day down here at the end of this lot. But while I'm flying, I'll continue with a story of, I've been talking about, telling stories of things that happened in throughout my life, and I've got a playlist of stories, so if you want to look at that. But in the last video, I was talking about the apartment I had for $35 a month, and it was on the waterfront of Bellingham, Washington, the waterfront of Bellingham Bay. And there were rats and mice, and it was anyway. That's where I lived, and while I was going to college. So anyway, and I had been going to school every summer, but finally, as I grew up, I started dating my boss at the cafeteria. She was a year or two older than me, and was the condiment manager, I guess you'd say. So we were dating, and of course then when summer came, I didn't go to summer school because we were planning on getting married. And so that summer, I spent most of the time living with my folks, made several trips back and forth down to Oregon, because her dad was a preacher in McMinnville, Oregon. That's where the wedding was going to be. And so made many trips. Well, the interesting thing is, or I guess you could say a sad story, is my brother was going to be my little brother was going to be in the wedding, part of the wedding ceremony. And so I think the day before the wedding, we drove down from Seattle to McMinnville, Oregon on Interstate 5. And somewhere, and it was hot, it was in September. And somewhere along the way, there was this little ma and pa store, so we pulled over there because back then cars didn't have air conditioning. So we pulled over. We pulled over and went in and got some, a pop, soda pop, and went outside. And we were leaning against the fender of the car. And I never will forget this because when we were kids, I told them that someday, when we grow up, you and me are going to live up in the mountains in a cabin, and we're going to just live together and never get married or anything, and we'll just be good friends. Well, so, when you're talking to your little brother, you're dreaming, and as life went along, well, things changed, and and I grew up, and my little brother, who at that point in time, I think he was still in high school, I can't remember, but so he looked at me and he said, "You told me a lie." And he was like dead serious. He said, "You told me a lie." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, when we were kids, you told me that we would never get married and we would live up in the woods in our own little cabin, and now you're going to get married. And you don't realize how much the things you say to your younger brother or to a lot of people, you don't think about what you just said when you were kids and stuff. So anyway, that kind of broke my heart that day because he loved me a lot more than it felt like he loved me a lot more than I loved him. And I think probably as life went along, I can say that he probably admired me and looked up to me a lot more than I realized. So, and then recently, I guess if you've been following my channel, he passed away with the COVID disease. So anyway, that was the summer that I got married, and then my wife had graduated from a school down in Oregon with a degree in sociology, and so when summer was over and we were married, we went back up to Bellingham so that I could finish school, and she got a job with the Washington State, the Welfare Department. I can't remember what it was called, but her duties were to check on families that were on welfare that had children, and she had some title like that. Well, it was a nice paying job, and so that when I went back to school, I didn't have to work in the cafeteria, and I didn't have to show videos, although I think I was available for it. By the way, some low rumbling is taking place outside. There's a thunderstorm right nearby us, and so we haven't had any lightning here yet. Could happen any time. But as I was flying my drone this morning, it was starting to look stormy, and I'll show you here in the video some of the clouds. So anyway, so then I went to school and she worked, and so I had a lot more spare time. And also by that time I was an upperclassman. Now I flew along and I saw this, and I thought I'm going to fly over and watch I didn't know what they were doing, but you can see all the bales of hay or alfalfa, whatever that is. And so I wanted to get a close-up look at it. And the reason is because I didn't know if it was the same thing that I had seen that morning when I was on my e-bike ride, because they were out working on this, or getting ready to work on it this morning at a little after 5:30 when I went for my e-bike ride. And so when I got through with my e-bike ride, I needed to check the mail and see, because tomorrow's Father's Day, and my daughter had sent me a card, so I needed, or my son had sent me a card. My son and his wife had sent me a card. My oldest son, the one that lives in Oregon. So here I am going to open up the mailbox and to get my card. And so this was at 5:30 when they were just starting to work on the roads. And you could see in the previous shot there, that was the baler that takes the cut grass and puts it into bales. This machine here goes along and scoops it, all the grass into one pile, and then they come along with the baler and turn it into bales. Now that's as much as I know about farming. You're as smart as I am now, or maybe smarter. So anyway, that's the story of my my life up to the point where I finally got married. And I'll jump ahead. I got just enough time to tell you one more story. When my wife had our first child in the hospital, and this was back in the 60s, and so she had to be in there 2 or 3 days. There's our cloudy skies starting to cloud up. So anyway, my oldest son I got to carry him out of the hospital. And as I was going down the stairs, I thought, I got to drive real careful in the car from now on. And I'm going to give my motorcycle to my little brother. And that was how it went. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching my video as I come in to land. And God bless.